At one point in history, half the world was labeled with a single name. Not Rome, not China, not Britain, Tartaria. Then almost overnight it vanished. No collapse recorded, no final war remembered, no ruins officially acknowledged. So what happened to Tartaria? Was it an advanced global empire erased from history? Or a misunderstanding so massive it still haunts the internet today? If you love mysteries buried in old maps, forgotten knowledge, and uncomfortable questions, subscribe now. Because this story lives in the space between truth and belief. Open a European map from the 1500s to the 1800s. You'll see it everywhere. Great Tartary, Independent Tartary, Chinese Tartary, Russian Tartary. From Eastern Europe to Siberia, from Central Asia to the edge of the Pacific. One word dominates the land: Tartaria. To modern eyes, it looks like a lost super-empire. But here's the first crack in the mystery. Tartaria was not a nation's name, it was a label. European mapmakers used it to describe lands they didn't understand, inhabited by diverse nomadic tribes collectively called Tatars. Different languages, different cultures, different rulers, one name. Already, the myth begins with oversimplification. By the late 1800s, Tartaria is gone from maps. This fuels the conspiracy. An empire erased. But historically, something less dramatic, but more human, happened. Three things changed. Exploration improved. Borders became precise. Empires like Russia and China absorbed these regions. As knowledge increased, vague labels vanished. Tartaria didn't disappear because it was destroyed. It disappeared because it was never a single thing to begin with. But that explanation doesn't satisfy everyone, because maps aren't the only evidence people point to. Online, Tartaria is described as a technologically advanced empire, possessing free energy, building massive cities with impossible architecture, using star forts, mudflood cities, and electromagnetic technology. The argument usually goes like this: these buildings are too advanced for the time. Therefore, history is lying. Cathedrals, World's Fair buildings, old city halls. They look grand, monumental, almost futuristic. But here's the uncomfortable counterpoint. Humans have always built incredible things. No electricity doesn't mean no engineering. No computers doesn't mean no mathematics. No modern tools doesn't mean no skill. The real issue isn't lost technology. It's lost appreciation. We underestimate the past, then assume magic when we shouldn't. One of the darkest Tartaria ideas claims a global catastrophe, cities buried in mud, civilization reset, survivors rewriting history. Yes, some cities do have buried lower floors. But geology explains this: rising street levels, flood mitigation, urban rebuilding over centuries. No global layer of mystery mud exists. No mass extinction recorded. No population gap that supports a reset. What does exist is human trauma, wars, plagues, empire collapses. And memory fades faster than stone. Here's the real reason Tartaria won't die. Modern people feel disconnected from craftsmanship, community, meaning, purpose. So we imagine a past where everything was better. Knowledge was stolen, power was centralized, and we were robbed of greatness. Tartaria becomes a symbol, not a place. A rebellion against official narratives, institutional authority, historical arrogance. The myth survives because it speaks to distrust. History has erased things: languages, cultures, nomadic traditions, oral knowledge. Entire ways of living vanished without stone monuments. Tartaria wasn't a super empire. But the people labeled as Tartars? They were real. They mattered. And many were absorbed, renamed, or silenced. That loss is quieter and more tragic than any conspiracy. Tartaria didn't vanish overnight. It dissolved, as understanding replaced ignorance. But the mystery remains not in maps, but in us. Why do we crave hidden empires? Why do we distrust history? Why do we want a stolen past? Because if something great was taken from us, then maybe we were once greater too. If you want documentaries that explore mystery without insulting your intelligence, subscribe. Because the truth isn't always hidden. Sometimes, it's just uncomfortable.